Former President Donald Trump is aware that some of the top secret documents seized from his Mar-a-Lago estate were classified. CBS Sunday Morning has obtained recordings from Bob Woodward's new audiobook, The Trump Tapes. In it, Trump tells Woodward that the letters he exchanged with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are, quote, top secret. Those same letters were among other classified documents later seized by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago. Trump has repeatedly claimed none of the documents taken from the White House were classified. Scott MacFarlane joins me now with more from Washington. Scott, the former president acknowledged in Woodward's audiobook, now the audio is from when he was president, and he's talking to Woodward and says these are top secret. But that letter exchange between himself and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, he says it's classified. So how much does that revelation in the past affect what's happening now in the present?
Well, a former federal prosecutor tells me, John, it's potentially pivotal because it indicates he knew the sensitivity of the documents in question. This is a legal team, the Trump legal team, that's been making the argument that this investigation is trying to criminalize the former president's personal presidential records, his personal items. The audio, as released, would seem to run counter to that. But this is the thing, and there's really no way of getting around this. The complications in this case keep growing for the former president. From the ruling from the appeals court, from what the special master has said, pressing the Trump legal team to provide more proof of the arguments they're making, now there's an audio clip. The former president's own voice that could resonate profoundly with the U.S. Justice Department as it continues its investigation.
You mentioned the special master in a phone conversation with Trump's lawyer. The special master judge, Raymond Dearie, said he needs, quote, some beef. He's talking about Where's the Beef, which is a reference to a commercial from the 80s. And this is with respect to the Trump team's claim that the documents are privileged. This is not the first time that the judge has said, let's have some evidence about this claim you're making, and the Trump team has been reluctant to provide that evidence.
That's right. And Judge Dearie, a senior judge in the Eastern District of New York, and one way you know he's a senior judge is he invokes a commercial phrase from 1984. But let's put that aside. He has been pushing back on the Trump lawyers who, by the way, offered up his name as one of their choices to be special master. What he's saying unequivocally is that the Trump team needs to offer more support for the arguments they're making, either verbally or on paper. For lack of a better phrase, he seems to be calling their bluff. And this is another complication added to the aforementioned complications the Trump legal team is facing as this Mar-a-Lago records investigation persists.
That expression also used by Fritz Mondale, the former vice president, to Jimmy Carter in a debate against Gary Hart, for those of you at home scoring your political trivia. Let me add, let's go to another lily pad on the Trump series of legal challenges here. Scott, a federal judge has ordered Attorney John Eastman to release more of his emails to the January 6th committee. What do they expect to learn from those emails?
It's not so much the records that stood out to me, the John Eastman emails that Eastman was trying to keep a hold of, but the judge's order to be turned over to the January 6th committee. That's not what jumped out at me. What jumped out at me, John, is the language the judge used. The judge making the case in his order that John Eastman can't withhold these records arguing privilege because there's a crime fraud exception to attorney-client privilege. And the judge says it's more likely than not Donald Trump engaged in an obstruction of an official proceeding in violation of U.S. code, a crime. And the judge is saying that emphatically, unambiguously, in his opinion, and that is now out there. So, yes, the John Eastman emails may be turned over to the January 6th committee, which is racing to complete its work in the 11th hour. But it's what the judge said that I will no doubt make it into the January 6th Select Committee's final report when it's issued, likely later next month.
Right, because that judge is characterizing the effort to overturn the election as a criminal act. Let me ask you about one more thing. Former President Trump was deposed Wednesday in the defamation lawsuit filed by E. Jean Carroll, a columnist who accused Donald Trump of raping her in the 1990s. So as the final question here, Scott, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the deposition has occurred. CBS News has confirmed it, a long-awaited deposition in this defamation case, added to the legal pile for former President Trump. Obviously, this is a civil suit, not a criminal matter. But all that being said, Donald Trump now has more lawyers working on more things, billing more hours, but also putting him face to face with an attorney as he considers relaunching his next presidential run. It's just one of those things that gives meaning to the phrase, the hits keep on coming.
That's right. Well, we've talked about 3 different legal proceedings, and that doesn't even scope the entire set of legal challenges facing the former president. Thank you, Scott MacFarlane, for walking us through all of that.